Welcome to Chris's Daily Dynamite, short, sharp videos to help you boom your income and explode your business. Okay, so today I'm going to cover the second of the speakers from the Millionaires College on Sunday. The second speaker was Gavin Scott. Gavin is a gold premier in the business, really successful. And his talk today was just a bit about evaluating your own success, your own skills. And the tool he used, what he asked us to do, and he'd kind of given a piece of paper out to everybody in the audience, was what he called your success wheel. And I'll show you briefly what it looked like, and give you a bit of an idea. Basically, there are 10 different legs to this wheel, 10 different spokes to the wheel. And he just asked you to consider, just evaluating yourself, mark yourself from 0 to 10 in the following areas. So the first one was sponsorship. I'll show you that. Just see, at the top there, sponsoring. Sorry. So if you feel really comfortable sponsoring people, you're regularly sponsoring people into the business, and if you were let's say if you're just starting and you're not sure how to do it, you might give yourself a 0 or a 1 because it's something you might be interested in. And if you often sponsor people into the business, maybe once or twice every period you're bringing somebody in, then maybe you're a 4 or a 5. And if you're sponsoring sort of 2 people every week into the business, you're probably an 8 or a 9. And if you could stand at the front of one of the trainings, the webinars, the conferences or whatever, and give a training on how to sponsor people, then you can give yourself a 9 or a 10. The next spoke on the wheel was retail. So obviously retail is a key part to our business. If you're regularly retailing over 100, 200 pounds every week, then probably a sort of 3 or a 4. And if you're getting your 10% every week, so that's about 250 pounds worth of orders every week, about 200 pounds worth of orders every week, then give yourself a 5 or a 6. If you're 1,000 pounds a week and more, then you can be doing, you're an 8 or a 9 on this. And again, Gavin was very keen. If you're able to stand at the front of an audience and tell them all about retailing, all the pros and cons and the different ways of doing it and getting the most out of your catalogues, then give yourself a 9 or a 10. The next spoke on the wheel was, are you teachable? So again, if you feel that you're keen to learn, you're devouring all of the books and the trainings and the webinars and everything that you go on, then you can give yourself 8, 9, 10. If you're sort of coming to the business thinking, well, I've done things like this before, I probably don't need to learn anything, I think I'll be okay on my own, then you're not very teachable, you're probably a 1 or a 2, and somewhere in between. The next spoke was the tools. So there are lots of tools in the business. These days, we use emails to send information out to people, and we have videos. If you know how to create your own video, or if you're used to writing blogs or something like that, and you're using all the different tools to help your business, then you can give yourself an 8 or a 9. Again, 9 or a 10 if you can talk to an audience about the different tools that you need to use in your business. If you're not really using any tools at all and not quite sure what we mean by that, then you're a 1 or a 2. The next I spoke was goals. Goal setting is and goal achieving is a really big way to help you with your motivation and your targets, if you like, for growing your business. So if you're haven't got any goals, just putting your catalogs out, see what happens, then probably a 1 or a 2. If you're really good at setting goals, big sort of exciting goals, breaking them down into smaller monthly chunks and then weekly steps and daily activities, and you constantly reviewing your goals, and you have goal boards and you have it all set up, you can be an 8, 9 and a 10 if you're if you do lots of training with your team on goal setting. The next spoke was books. If you're reading books and CDs, I think covered in all of that, are a really great way to improve your knowledge, your attitude, and everything that will lead you to success in Kleeeneze. If you're regularly got sort of 2 or 3 books that you're reading and listening to CDs in the car and always on the lookout for a new book that you read really quickly, and don't just read your books but you study them, so you make notes and you take actions based on what you've learned, then you're an 8, 9, 10. And if you think, I don't need to read books, or how difficult is it just to put a few catalogues out, what do you need to read about? then you're probably 1 or 2, and you might want to consider looking at changing that approach. The next leg on the wheel was a contact manager. Now, contact manager is one of the tools that we use, but they're getting more and more valuable in terms of communicating to a large number of people about your business. So if you're interested in team building, the contact manager really is a very important tool. If you've never heard of contact manager, then you're obviously up at sort of 0, 1, 2. And if you can give training about the 4 or 5 different good contact manager softwares that's out there, then you can give yourself a 9 or a 10. And sort of obviously, if you're using a contact manager, regularly putting emails out to your list, and then kind of 4, 5, 6, something like that. The next spoke on the wheel was your time. Are you good at managing your time? We all have the same 24 hours, and some people seem to get a lot more out of their 24 hours than others. If you're really good at managing your own time and you're making best use of the little pockets of time in between all your other commitments, then sort of 6, 7, 8. If you can give training on time management and so on, you might be a 9 or a 10. If you're bad with your time and you're always flitting about and kind of often sort of find yourself not feeling that you've achieved anything during the day, then maybe a 1 or a 2, and that could be something you could work on. The penultimate spoke in the wheel is your attitude. If you've got a fantastic attitude, you understand the benefits of having a great attitude and how attitude can affect your motivation in the activities that you take, and those activities then leading to your leading to your successes. Then you can be up there 7, 8, 9, 10 if you can kind of give training on the impact of attitude and how to change your attitude and so on. If you feel that you're always got a bad attitude, you're really struggling to sort of, I can't be bothered to put my catalogs out today, or can't be bothered to follow up with my team or anything like that. If you're really struggling with your attitude, then obviously 1, 2, 3. And the final spoke on the wheel was Ezereach. Ezereach is a tool that Gavin has done an awful lot of work on. It's a telephone training system basically, where messages come down every day from Gavin and from throughout the business, all hints and tips, all sorts of different things about how to grow your business. If you've never heard of Ezereach or you never listen to the messages, obviously up to 0, 1, 2. If you listen to the Ezereach messages most of the time, then 4, 5, 6. If you're regularly listening to the messages and you're often providing messages and hints and tips for Gavin to put down the Ezereach loop, then obviously 8, 9, 10. So basically, what you should start off with is a wheel that looks something like that with those 10 different spokes. And then, having gone through all of that self-evaluation, what you should end up with is something, so hopefully you can see that okay, that looks a little bit like that. You can kind of see it's never going to be a perfectly round wheel, unless you happen to be exactly the same with everything. But what it should do is identify for you the areas that you should be working on. There's 10 different areas that Gavin's covered there, and they're all really, really useful skills. If you draw your wheel and you find that it's quite round, apart from 1 or 2 little areas that you're really low on, then that would be a good place to start with your personal development. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed that. Next speaker will be coming out tomorrow. See you soon.